let's take a ride in my Volkswagen.
It's ironic that what is probably the world's most popular car was born from the dream of one of the world's most unpopular men, Adolf Hitler. Just like Henry Ford in America, Hitler wanted to create a car for the people. It had to have enough power to tackle the mountains and the new autobahn. It had to be easily serviceable, of medium size, and it had to cost around 1,000 marks, which was half the price of the cheapest car already on the market. We are, of course, talking about the Volkswagen Beetle. Hitler commissioned an Austrian engineer, Ferdinand Porsche, to build his dream car, and in 1939 he saw the very first Beetle prototype. It was the same year he invaded Poland. He called the car the Kraft durch Freudwagen, or the Strength Through Joy car, but it soon became known as just Volkswagen, or the People's Car. Production of the VW was halted during the war, and it was the British who got a very damaged factory at Wolfsburg back on its feet again when the war was over. And by 1947 they were producing around 2,500 VWs a month. These days the figure is closer to 4,500 a day. So what is it about VWs that has made people fall in love with them for so many years the world over?
Come on, boy, let's take a ride in my Volkswagen.
Editor of Volksworld, who everybody probably knows by now. He's quite famous with his race car. Can you tell us a bit about the Volkswagen scene that seems to have sprung up in the last 5 years?
Yeah, really the whole idea originated from the States, where VWs have been big for about the last 20 or 25 years. And it's probably not since about 87 that things have really taken off in a big way over here. And before, long, we had obviously the first bug jam, and that's really set the whole thing snowboarding from there. I mean, since then we had more and more events each year. Always tend to be convinced that each year was going to be the biggest, and then 88 was bigger than 87, 89 more than 88, and here we are in 91. It's just a bigger scene than it's ever been before.
Why do you think people have come to love Volkswagens enough to spend so much time and money turning them into these beautiful machines worth a fortune?
I think part of it has got to be that the price of a basic Beetle, it's risen out of all proportion, but originally the Beetle was a very affordable sort of car, and with a very small amount of work you could have a very nice looking machine. I mean, you could buy a clean Beetle a while ago for say anything between £500 and £1,000, which was pretty good price. And with a little amount of work, set of nice wheels, lowering it, and get a friend to repaint it, and for probably less than £1,500 or the maximum £2,000, you had a very, very, smart-looking car that made you part of suddenly what was growing to be a very big, friendly sort of club. And now it's reached such a sort of size. It's really, a whole cult has grown up around it. And it goes a lot further than the cars. Obviously, they bring in the music side and the whole sort of fashion side. And like a lot of advertising agencies have picked up on this, they realise that now, more than any other vehicle, the Beetle represents what sort of the youth scene is all about. And then it just keeps growing like Topsy, it doesn't even know when to stop.
Yeah, it's like a culture all in itself.
Yeah, that's right.
What is the thing about people, they personalise their cars so much that no one else will buy it? Because
I think that one of the big things is that today all cars are designed in wind tunnels, and unless you actually read the badge on the back of a car, it is very difficult to sort of recognise the shape. Okay, a few years ago, everybody could recognise the Morris Minors and Cortinas and the like, but now you look at the Sierras and the Cavaliers, and basically they all look very much the same. With the Beetle, it's such an age-old design. I mean, it's approaching like 60 years old as an actual design from the drawing board, and everybody, anywhere in the world, in the like deepest jungle or on the remotest island, show them a picture of a Beetle and say, oh yeah, that's a Volkswagen.
Yeah.
It's instantly recognisable. Now, obviously, there are a lot of Beetles around. People want to personalise their cars. It's a natural thing. And you also get the situation where one man's meat is another man's poison. So maybe, we have a lot of cars for sale here today. A lot of them are not selling. It's because each one has been a personal expression of, the original builder's taste. And maybe that doesn't quite match up with, the buyer's idea. So the scene in terms of sort of sales have gone a bit quiet this year. But the good thing is that, if you think about it, by changing the wheels, changing maybe the carpet and, seats inside, and then you're saying you add some graphics, that kind of thing, you can totally change the whole look of a car for a few £100s.
Now, I'm talking here today to Jonathan Craig Volkswagen Beetle. Now, that's your real name. You've actually changed it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
What was your name before that?
Bennett.
Jonathan Craig Bennett.
Yeah, it's simple.
Why did you change your name?
Why not? It's a nice day at a time.
Now, this is your car here that we're leaning up against.
Yeah.
And you've actually chopped it in half,
Yeah.
taken bits out of it, joined it up.
Yeah.
Can we have a look at the...
Yeah. Portfolio.
Take us through what you've done.
Basically, it's a full-length camper like that at one time. Where the side-loading door used to be, that used to be 4 foot. It's nothing anymore because that's taken out of it. And then they've taken 10 inches at the back end, so it ends up looking like that until we get to something like what you got now.
Where did you get the idea from?
The Yanks, as always, they've done it first. I thought I'd have a go.
Yeah, you're the only person who've done it in this country.
I think mine's the shortest.
Yeah.
Shortest van, that is.
Yeah. You're the only wheelie van, though, too, aren't you?
Yeah, so I've been told, yeah.
Well, now, how do you actually throw it into a wheelie, then?
Just drop the clutch, give it loads of revs, and away you go.
And straight back onto the little wheels you've got on the back?
Yeah, and up the road you go, on the back wheels.
Right, and now you've sort of almost become a bit of a household name in the VW scene, haven't you?
Yeah. It's,
not only because your name is Volkswagen Beetle, but...
Yeah, but just for, just modifying V-dubs,
Yeah.
Changing my name, silliest van in the country, I reckon.
Yeah. And your girlfriend's just about to change her name too.
Yeah, that's her name. She's going to be Carmen Gear.
You're like a very handsome couple.
It's going to be good fun, yeah.
Now, you take us through sort of the colour scheme on your car. Was all your idea?
Yeah, well, it's just last minute choice, really.
Yeah.
We did the green. It's grey in the middle. We couldn't decide on what colour at the end, so we just chucked a load of colours in at the pot. And that's the way it came out.
So are you going to hold on to this for a while, or are you ever going to sell it?
If someone made me a silly price, it'd go.
How much did it cost you to do all this to it?
It's difficult to say, really. Just a lot of hours. Depends what you can put on time, really.
Yeah. So how long have you been in the Volkswagen scene for?
I've been doing V-dubs since I was 14.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's like a long time love affair.
Well, yeah, I didn't get on at school, so I went straight into V-dubs, and that was it. I've done it for about 11 years now.
Well, thanks very much for talking to us.
Great. Cheers.
We're talking to Simon Emery. You're the owner of Paintbox and also one of the organisers of the show and shine at all the 111 shows. Can you tell me what you're looking for these days when you're choosing the prize winners?
It's a self-judging system now. Basically means the competitors vote for the cars they want to vote for. They go around with a judging slip, judge cars on sort of detailing, paintwork, etc, etc. We're trying to keep a real broad spectrum as to the sort of categories now, and that seems to keep it more interesting at the moment.
So you're responsible for a lot of the paint jobs and the graphics on most of the cars that are ready to show and shine. Where do you get your inspiration from?
A lot of it all started off really coming from America. You can still pick up a good few ideas really coming in from California and that. A lot of the European cars are getting really good quality now, so you can learn a lot from that. You take sort of inspiration from the sort of hot rodding world, sort of street rods, mini trucks, really sort of quite a sort of broad spectrum across the the motoring sort of range, you know.
So how long does it take you to do, like, say, a job like this one we're standing next to?
A lot of the time, as far as sort of paint and bodywork goes, you're usually talking about sort of 3-week turnaround, really, depending on sort of body mods and how much detailing and stuff like that. But I mean, there's some guys here who've taken sort of 3 years to build cars, so but it seems to be fairly easy compared to a lot of the stuff that they're doing.
So do people bring sort of graphic designs into you as well as you think them up yourself?
Yeah, a lot of the time we can leave it to customers. Some of them, like I say, that one we did the designs on, but other people we go for their designs. If that's what they want, we'll do it, no problem, you know.
So how much would it cost for a Rolls-Royce job?
Oh God!
Like a Rolls-Royce best paint and show and shine?
I wouldn't even like to try and price. I mean, it all depends really on the car, etc., etc. But we can try and keep everything fairly cheap.
So roughly, for somebody who was sort of thinking of...
I suppose you're talking for a sort of nice paint and bodywork with parts as well, probably up to £2,000. That's the sort of starting level, and really can go up from there.
So it's like £2,000 and 3 weeks.
3 weeks turnaround, yeah, it's not too bad really.
So what do you think about the standard of cars like these days, this year?
It's really changed this year. We've had like a lot of new cars. Like I say, we've had a few foreign cars over as well. And there's a lot of new ideas and bits and pieces being tried out. So there's a lot of people going to learn a lot from this year's events, definitely.
What happens when obviously like a lot of the same cars, the best cars, go around to all the shows? What happens when, you know, the best of show from one show goes to another show? Does he sort of win every single time, or do other people have a chance?
Well, really, you could take this weekend, for example, with the Swedish guy coming over. We all thought Andy Parrott was going to get it. When the Swedish guy turned up, that was it. He got best of show. So you never know what's going to turn up. Yeah. There's so many new cars being built and that. You never know what's going to happen.
Is there much enthusiasm now for people wanting to show their cars?
Yeah, it still seems to be on the increase. It's good. Like I say, there's a lot of cars still being built. Yeah. You usually get a stage where a few cars will drop out the sort of show circuit and then they might come back in a couple of years all changed and that. Yeah. Seems like most people are never happy with what they got, so they'll either sell it and build another one or start all over again on the same car. Yeah.
What about the show and shine cars? Like, are most of them driven daily, or are they just
some of them are
cars?
Some of them are. It seems to be majority are daily driven, with just a few sort of trailered cars. But even a lot of them really now aren't being trailered. People just don't mind cleaning their cars, thank God.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of the good feeling about Volkswagen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, everyone wants to drive
into the show and shine tent and win.
There's no point in building a car if you're going to trailer it everywhere. That's for definite.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Jason in Jigsaw, you designed this car.
Yeah.
The paint job.
Yeah.
Where did you get your inspiration from?
Basically, I wanted something new, which no one had done before. I've been at all the shows the last few years, and I've never seen anyone have the jigsaw effect. So I just basically sat down with a photo of the car, with the jigsaw puzzle, and just placed the bits over the top, and just played around for months with it.
Yeah.
Finally came out with this.
So how long did it take you?
It took me about 3 months.
What award is this entered into? It's the Cow Look.
This is the Cow Look Award, yeah.
And what's the Cow Look?
Cow Look is just the lower de-chromed, very sort of clean, sleek look. Mm-hmm. They've usually got roofs, but I've decided to chop my one off just to be different.
Yeah, just for this lovely English summer.
Oh, yeah.
John Humphreys, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, this car's 37 years old and you built it up from scratch.
Yes, so we bought it at Buck Jam in 1989. We bought it home on a trailer. It was nothing of it really, except for 4 large boxes of parts, and we set about it, and it's taken us 2.5 years to get it to the standard to today.
And how much did you pay for it back then?
£1,600 then.
So what, after all the work, what would it be worth now?
Very hard, very difficult to say, but I wouldn't take less than 10 grand for it.
Really?
Really.
As far as the paint job is concerned, can you tell me a bit about this pearlescent effect?
Yes, it's a Standox 2K system, what they call 2K paint. It's pearlescent, and that is basically put on over the top of a white base coat, ceramic coating, then lacquered, and that gives a flip tone when the light hits it. So in different lights it changes to different colours.
And at night it looks red, you said?
Yeah, it looks a lot pinker at night, a reddy pink, you know.
tell me what is original on this car.
But everything you see is original, apart from the two front seats and the engine, which has been updated.
What have you got there then?
Well, originally it was 1200, 90 something like that. It's now 1600 with all the goodies put on it. What else can I tell you really? The two front seats aren't original, they were out of a Vauxhall. The rest is genuine, but the seats have all been leathered rather than just vinyl.
Now this car's been doing very well in show and shine, they tell me.
Well, we've taken 3 first prizes at one meeting, and we managed to get one at another where they picked up 10 best cars in the whole of the show.
So what are you entered into in this one?
What, today?
Yeah.
Just the show and shine, so, leave it up to everybody else what they want to give it.
What class, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. This is Nick Good. How are you?
Very well, thanks.
Now, you bought this off a scrap heap.
Yeah.
There was 1,000 cars lying on top of it, and you hauled it out
That's
for 195 quid.
That's right.
And it's taken you 2 years?
Yeah, every last nut and bolt, rebuild, replaced the bottom half. Hadn't originally got an engine in it. When I bought it, I stuck a 1600 twin carb engine in it.
And what was actually on the car that you that was replaceable?
Replaced the bottom half of the car
Yeah.
virtually. The stereo fitted that, had all the interior retrimmed, had the bodywork sandblasted.
But everything else that you just restored up.
That's right. The tax disc in the window was 1972, so it's been standing around for that long.
Yeah.
The mileage is probably genuine. It's got about 50,000 on the clock.
Yeah. And how much sort of time do you think you put into
Hundreds
it?
of hours.
And you've had 10 before and done this 10 times before?
Yeah, this is the 10th one I've done. And this one I've really got the town on.
You must really like it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I love it.
You'll sort of always continue to restore bugs, or you think you'll move on?
I've had a lot of hassle with this one, getting hold of parts and what have you, so I'll probably stick to something a bit newer.
Yeah.
There'll still be a Beetle.
Are you making any money each time you do buy and sell?
Yeah, you do make money, but that's not
You
accounting
don't
for
do
your
it for the
time.
money.
That's not accounting for your time.
Yeah. So you do it for the love, not the money.
Yeah,
very
just like driving them.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
Come on, boy, let's take a ride in my volkswagen.
This is Sue Wade. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
And this is your very own Volkswagen.
That's correct.
And you bought it as a wreck.
That's correct.
And what happened?
Well, I fell in love with it. I'd always wanted a Beetle, but it was trying to find the right shape and one that we could sort of work on. It looked okay from the outside. It was a cow looker originally, but everything had been done bodged-like. So we sort of decided the colour, sent it away. No, first off we did the engine. I decided that I wanted quite a powerful engine, but that was economical because I was going to drive it every day to work. And so I sent it off to have the engine built. Stateside built the engine, and they were very helpful. And then in the meantime I set about finding the colour. I found the colour.
And it's a mixture, isn't it?
Yeah, it's specially mixed for me. And the guy who painted it called it mint cocktail because there's no way to describe the paint. Some people call it blue, some people call it green.
It looks like a grasshopper drink, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's
Cream de menthe and cream.
Yeah. And sometimes in bright sunlight it nearly goes white, so it changes colour all the time. I picked the colour because it reminded me of 1950s sort of cars. And I'd seen the colour and I'd gone up to lots of people with 50s cars and sort of said, what is the colour? And they said, it's a secret. So I decided to have my own paint mixed, and it was mixed from the toothbrush.
Really?
Yeah. I had a toothbrush and I gave it to the guy who sprayed it, and every day I'd go down and check that the colour was right.
With the toothbrush up against it.
That's right. So if I needed to, because there's lots of cars similar colour to this, the only way I've got to check that it's the same is if I hold the toothbruch
up against it. Now, how much money would you say you've spent on this? Because you bought it for £400,
yeah.
didn't you?
Probably about £8,000. I think. I don't know. I didn't think about it. I mean, we've got a box full of bills, and we started to write them down in a book, and then we gave up when the figures started getting a bit.
Are you like worried? Are you like a very careful driver when are you very worried?
I'm a careful driver anyway, and particularly in this, you tend to have to drive defensively because people they look at it and think, oh, it's a Beetle, and they don't conceive that it'll actually go fast, or accelerate on. And I get a great thrill of sort of sitting at the lights and people looking at me, and then I just piss all over them basically.
What about the interior? Because you work for Laura Ashley, don't you? So you.
Well, we decided that we wanted something that was fun and economical because we'd spent so much money on the engine and the bodywork and everything else that we decided that we'd go for the interior. So I just spent ages walking around shops, home furnishing places, trying to find a fabric that was suitable, and I found that. And luckily on the roll next to it was a roll of PVC, so we used that for the vinyl, for the door panels.
Right, and why do you show this car?
Why?
Yeah.
I think that because I've been going to shows for 7 years and I've always enjoyed looking at them as well as participating, I think it's nice for people to have something that they can be inspired by. You see something on a car and you think, I like that, but I don't like that. And I think everyone should show their cars just to give other people inspiration or to see how not to do it.
Yeah. Does it make you happy when people sort of walk around it all the time admiring it?
Yes.
Rachel Fairhurst, racing in Super Street for the VW DRC. You have a beautiful car here. You tell me that you're wearing the German car company graphics. What we want to know is, what does it mean to you to have your car looking so good when it's racing?
Well, it started off gold, and Mark Osborne at the German car company sorted out the graphics for us, which are kindly done by a paint box. You've got to have something eye-catching out there, and everybody else looks good, so...
What about the colours? Did you choose the colours?
Yeah, we went down and we chose all the colours. Wanted something that was pretty eye-catching, and I think we've got that now.
Yeah, yeah. So what got you into being a Volkswagen admirer to a Volkswagen racer?
Well, I started off, having the daily drive, and it just gradually got quicker and quicker. And my husband was drag racing, so it's a natural thing to do. If you can't beat them, join them,
And can you beat your husband?
Yes, yes.
And your best time is 13:27.
Yeah, that was actually Paul driving the car, but that's the best the car's
in
done.
The car.
Yeah, and that was at Beta Bash last year.
Right, and today, what do you hope to do with the car?
We've just done one qualifying run and done a 14.92, and we're quite happy with that. Do another couple, and if they're okay, then that's what we'll go for.
So what have you got underneath here that's special?
It's a 1776 with Superflow heads and twin Webers on it. Standard bottom end. It's just one of the smallest capacity engines racing in Super Street.
Can you run nitrous?
Not in bracket racing, no, only for heads up.
Right.
Which we're not running today.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Rachel.
Okay then, thanks.
Good luck. Running a Porsche hybrid engine in the car.
Yeah, Type 4 engine. Used in the Porsche 914, and in the Volkswagen variant range, the Type 4 range. So some people say it's Porsche owners say it's a Volkswagen engine.
Yeah.
Volkswagen owners say it's a Porsche engine.
Yeah.
But it's more Volkswagen.
Why do you race a Volkswagen?
It's been a progressive thing. I've owned 10 Beetles on the street. I've dismantled and used 22 for parts over 10 years. Mm-hmm. And when I first started, I had a wreck of a Beetle. It was my first car. I've always wanted a hot VW. Things you saw in magazines, and then over the past few years, it's become become, parts become available in this country.
So you'd never race anything else?
No, it's the draw of the Beetles.
Right, so it's Beetles first, racing second.
Yeah, I mean I drive it every day as well. So.
You drive this on the street every day?
30 miles a day. Full-time
So
job.
it's not just a weekend racer?
No, it's not by no means. No.
Well, good luck today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Soren Stenstrom from Sweden. This is one of the fastest Type 1s. It is the fastest Type 1 in Europe.
Yeah, it is now.
Tell us a bit about it.
I brought it from America this autumn, and it has been running line 6 in America. So I took it over. It's cheaper for us in Sweden to take a whole race car over than building one in Sweden.
Yeah. What has it raced in Sweden?
It raced 988.
Right, 988.
Yeah.
What is it like racing in England? This is your first time here?
It's really fun. Yeah, it's my first time.
Yeah.
Not be the last though.
What's the Volkswagen scene like in Sweden?
It's big.
Is it?
It's getting bigger every year. Yeah.
Is it? Would you say it's as big as it is here?
As it is today?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. What about what's under the hood here?
As a hood, it's just over 2 liters, and it runs a single turbo with a Holley carburetor, and no nitrous.
No nitrous.
No.
So, what got you into Volkswagen racing?
Pardon me?
Why choose a Volkswagen to race rather than some other kind of car?
Because it's an old tradition in my family. My brother drove a rallycross car for 15 years. My father drove some rally back home in Sweden.
All Volkswagens?
Yeah, so it's natural for me.
Uh-huh. And do you love Volkswagens?
Yeah.
Is your normal daily driver a Volkswagen?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah. So I love to beat the V8s.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Okay.
This is one of the finest cars here today. It's come all the way from Sweden. As you can see, it's a customised Type 1 VW. It's won almost every prize there is on the shelf today in the show and shine as well. Welcome, Rolf Hansen. We need an interpreter because your English isn't that good. My Swedish is very bad. You must be very happy.
Yes.
Yes? Come all this way. Can you tell us a bit about the customising of this car? What you've done to it?
Kan du berätta lite grann om kustomiseringen du har gjort? Vad du har utfört?
Ja, det är felvända dörrar och motorväxlar uppflyttade 4 tum.
Yeah. He's got suicide doors and a flip front, and the engine and gearbox is moved up 4 inches, so it's like a race car.
And you actually do race it, and it's done in the 12s, I'm told, over in Sweden.
Du har kört 12 år?
Ja.
It performs very well in Sweden.
Och du körde bra I Sverige?
Ja, det har gått bra.
He's only driven an 8-mile race in Sweden, and he drove 8:37.
Wow.
First run ever.
Wow, that's really good. Now, you're a bit old for the average VW fan. How did you get into Volkswagens?
Det är samma fråga som förut. Du är lite gammal jämfört med de andra.
Ja. Ska vi svara samma?
Ja, vi svarar samma.
Ja, kör då.
It's his daughter. He built a car for his daughter, just like this one. And he with the flip front and wider fenders and stuff like that.
So are you enjoying being here in England with this car?
Du tycker om att vara I England?
Ja.
What do you think of the quality of the show and shine that we've had here today?
Vad tycker du om kvaliteten på bilarna som har varit här idag?
Det var många fina bilar.
There's a lot of fine cars.
Well, thanks very much for coming over to England. We hope to see you again here soon.
Yes, thank you.
It's owned by a guy called Darren Jacobs. It's basically a 67 1500. The main features of the car is the de-seaming of the roof, the target top, removable door tops. Moving to the back of the car, early single blade bumpers with the top edge of the bumper fitting the contours of the car. The lens is made to fit in. Rear vents removed, target strip laid in there. Engines are basically stock 1500, polished block, dual bay with the autos, various chrome goodies. Bit around this side. Back, dashboard has been completely panelled over. Centre console holding the speedo. Front bumper, basically the same as the rear. Same sort of treatment, leading edge, following the lines of the body again.
Now this is David in his Cal Look notchback turquoise blue Volkswagen. Tell us a bit about it.
Well, it's taken me almost 3 years of my spare time, and basically when I started off I didn't have a plan on how the car would look. It developed as it went along, and as it slowly developed, I decided to do it in a traditional 50s style hot rod, hence the removable Carson top and the paintwork with the scallops going across it, and basically that's a lot different to anything else that I've seen.
Yeah.
So
So how do you get? I mean, what I can't understand is how you get how you can sort of say, yep, okay, well I want the roof to look like this, and it actually happens.
Basically, start off with a little idea how you want it, and
you work sort of closely with the builder.
No, I built everything myself.
Did it all yourself?
All myself, apart from the spray
job
and the cover for the roof and the seats.
And the seats.
Everything else is my own work.
And why did you pick this? Like, it's the most stunning colour.
But actually, you probably can't see the colour that well because in the sunlight that really glitters. It's all pearl blue over top, the white and the turquoise. Basically, to stand out really.
Racing DIY VW. I'll just introduce you to the wizard, who knows all about the wizard.
Hi.
Tell me a bit more about it.
Right, well this car started life as an ordinary Beetle saloon, and what we do is we cut the roof from the saloon Beetle and bond on high quality fiberglass panels, which then converted into a convertible, normally a roadster style, as you can see from the back end there. And it's either, as this one is, a full 4-seater or a 2+2 seater.
Right, and how much would one of these go for?
We sold our last demonstration car, the finished car, for £7,500
Right.
when they're built to this high standard. The kit to build a car like this, we do a range of them starting at £495 plus VAT
Right.
and going up to £1,100 plus VAT.
So that even if you haven't got loads and loads of money, you can still afford a wizard?
Yes, anyone with reasonable practical skills. I generally say to the customer, look, are you a practical person? Are you good at building things and mending things? If you are, you should be able to do it.
Yeah.
But if you get other people to service your car for it, you should really forget it.
Yeah, myself and a guy called Steve White actually put it together. Started off with a basic Wizard Roadster kit. Did all the aluminium, milled it, all the hand mill running boards and all the aluminium parts in the engine. Lots of ideas. I'm a graphic designer, hence the graphics on it. Followed the theme through. And it took Europe's Most Beautiful VW at Bug Jam last year. Won overall at Action, at Stoner. Had a couple of other drag race meetings, best paint at a couple, best interior at a couple, 15 trophies in all, so well pleased. I won't be entering it this year though. There's only one way to go, in or down.
So how long have you spent in the car?
It actually took me 18 months of evenings and weekends, and it also cost me a divorce. Boy, let's take a ride in my volkswagen.
designed this whole car yourself?
Yeah.
And it's taken you how long?
About 2.5 years. I bought it in May 1988. It was 675 notes, and it's taken me from then till now. Well, it was put on the road January the 4th.
Yeah.
That's when I finally got it on the road. And
it's. But you're at college, aren't you?
I'm at college now, yeah.
So how do you get time to work on this and study at the same time?
It was, well, the course I'm doing is a film and television course, so it's not really a. It is a study course, but when you're at college, that's when you do the main amount of the work.
Yeah.
And when you're not at college, that's when you just like relax. So I just like do this as a hobby.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted a Beetle, so I like.
So what appealed to you about the Baja?
Well, to start with, I just wanted a car which is a bit of a knockabout car, which wasn't too. I didn't really want a really valuable sort of car.
But now you can't knock this about.
I just get obsessed with it. I just started off. I put it on the road in about 1.5 years after I first bought it.
Yeah.
And it was not half as good as this. It had different wheels. It was smaller back wheels, and the arches were smaller because I had to rebuild them bigger when I bought these wheels. But it was not like half as good as this. Didn't have a paint job or anything. And I just used to drive around and have a bit of fun. But then the engine blew up, so I bought a new engine. After about 2,000 miles, it went. Bought a new engine and like I built it to more or less what it is now. The engine's like, there's a lot of things that this car aren't finished, like bits of the interior. The engine, there's a few more little bits I've got to put on it, and I've got to paint all the suspension out. I did it once, but it needs doing again.
So you actually designed the interior as well?
Yeah, I've designed it, made it, just bought all the vinyl. The seats I had covered as a present.
Yeah.
My mother and my grandfather paid for these to be covered as a present, but I somehow wish I'd done them because like I did everything else.
So
all the door panels. And
where do you get your inspiration from? Especially the little alligator dinosaur things.
Those are actually bubble bath containers. Head tops. Just stuff like just got them for Christmas. And I thought I wanted something like it's a bit colour coded, so I just stuck them on there. No, I just wanted a colour that is like totally. No way a stock colour. I mean, not very many pink cars that are actually stock colour. I know Porsche have got a few, and an Austin Rover, because this is mixed from Austin Rover Rose Pink, but it's got a hell of a lot more white in it.
Yeah.
So.
Because it's a really like delicious pink.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Took ages. The guy like mixed loads of different colours at the body shop. That I wanted him, I just really wanted the right colour, and he showed me this, and this was like just right.
So if I wanted to buy this, how much would I have to pay?
Well, it's been valued at 6,000 quid by an independent valuer for the insurance, but I mean, I'll probably ask a bit more than that, I don't know.
Does it make you nervous to drive it?
Everyone else makes me nervous when I'm on the road, because like, you get so many arseholes. But the thing is, a car like this, people are going to be looking at you, and they're going to crash into someone else, so
Yeah, they'll be avoiding you.
Yeah, they'll be avoiding it, because they think like it's big expense if you stack this, so I don't think they would.
Okay, well,